Hello again, mountain bikers everywhere, and welcome to another show of Old Man in Lycra. Yep, this is the mountain bike show for the mature rider. Basically, if you love riding your bike and you don't care about a podium, this is the place for you. I'm afraid in this show you're not going to see any of this, or this, and none of this. But this week, we look into saddle position with Irma. Stay tuned. In previous shows, we've looked at your feet, we've looked at your cockpit, and this week it's the turn of your saddle, and more specifically, how to position the saddle. This is part one of a two-part show, so let's meet Irma, our bike fitting expert, and she's with Riaan.
Understanding how high your saddle must go and how forward and back your saddle must go, you have to understand how long your legs are. So, in a nutshell, the height of the saddle is influenced by the distance of your tibia bone or your lower leg. The forward and back of the saddle is influenced by how long further back or how short your upper leg is going forward. The combination of the two influences the angle of the knee, where we get to closer to a 30-degree knee angle that we've explained before. And the combination of the two is the sweet spot. So I'm going to measure Riaan's legs. You're going to measure it on the inside of your leg, on the medial side of your leg. You're going to find the middle of his knee joint on the inside of his leg and the middle of his ankle joint, and measure it from middle of the joint to middle of the joint. And Riaan's tibia is 38.5 centimeters long. This is not set in stone or super accurate. You can only do this with an x-ray, so please, you're not going to tell anyone that this is a super accurate measurement. It's just an indication to get an understanding of how long his legs are. You want to find the outside of the knee joint, this little knoppy over here, and you want to find the hip joint on his leg. So your hip joint isn't up here, that's the top of your pelvis. It's not there, it's more or less over here. So if I ask Riaan to move his leg in and out, you can feel that there's a socket. Your greater trichanter sits here, and you want to measure from the midpoint of that. You can hold it steady. From the midpoint of that to the midpoint of his lateral condyle, and that's 44 centimeters long. A 44 centimeter long femur, so it's quite longer than the tibia in relation, so his saddle is going to go further back. That puts Riaan on the borderline of a medium and a large frame size, because he's mostly medium, but depending on the brand, the type of bike, and how compressed or compact that frame is, Riaan might battle to find the right size depending on the choice of the riding style that he wants. Welcome back, Riaan.
Thank you.
How are you feeling on your bike?
Very uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable. Do you feel too high, too low? What's going on?
Yeah, too much forward position.
Cramped up?
Yeah.
Okay, can you pedal for me quickly, just slowly? I want to see. So you can see on his knee angle, it's quite a compressed look, and he's sort of kicking back on his pedal stroke. He's only able to start the push down action from about here. And you can hear on my trainer that it sounds like my trainer is busy braking. That's definitely not the case. So Riaan's too low and too far forward on the saddle. We've lifted Riaan's saddle up because he was sitting too low and too far forward, so I've lifted it up and I've moved it back. Riaan, pedal for me please. How do you feel? How do you feel?
It's too high.
It's too high.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're rocking on the saddle?
Yes.
Does it feel like your sit bones are moving left and right on the saddle? His whole pelvis is rocking, trying to reach the bottom pedal stroke. Definitely not a comfortable fit or way to cycle. Also, his foot is now starting the pedal stroke at the back of the middle point of his BB, and he's sort of pedaling from the back to the front, pushing through his hip and his lower back to try and get the pedal around. And you can also hear, again, my trainer sounds like it's broken. Now we've got Riaan in the right position. We've found his saddle height and we found we moved it literally just 2 to 3 mils at a time, found his neutral spot. Riaan, please pedal. How do you feel now?
Much more comfortable on my bike.
Do you feel like you're neutral?
Yes.
Do you feel like you have consistent stroke through your leg?
Consistent power to the pedal now.
Is there any movement on your bum bones, or do you feel like you are rocking some more? Do you feel flat on your bum?
Yes.
Okay. You will see now that there's a really nice flexion on Riaan's knee. It's a nice open feeling. You should feel free, like you don't have a knee.
Yeah.
Shouldn't really feel like it's doing anything. You can see his foot. There's no real ankling on his foot. The foot isn't doing this. It's just a steady motion going through the pedal, and there is no rocking on his hips. He's sitting flat and it's beautiful. Last thing, can you hear? My trainer's not broken. It's a nice steady circle. Riaan, where do you feel the push down action starting? Is it at the top in the 12 o'clock position? Does it feel like a circle basically? That's
Yes,
what I would like to know.
It's more a full circle of power.
Okay. And is it easy or difficult?
Much easier.
Much
Because
easier.
Both muscle groups are working on there.
Okay. Is the quad pushing and the hammies
And-
pulling?
yeah.
Can you push with your bum as well and
Yeah.
pull with your bum?
Yes.
Awesome. That's what we want. Thank you.
This is quite a long session, and so I've decided to split it into 2 shows. Next week we'll conclude everything around the saddle, and we'll be talking about the tilt of the saddle. So, see you then.